codependency? What is it? And what can you do about it? It's a very broad subject, and what you actually can say is that it's behavior that you're doing for a very long time. It is something like pleasing others, not really feeling your own boundaries or not feeling them at all. And you always want to accommodate other people. You have problems like feeling your own boundaries. People can overstep them very easily. If you've been asked something, then you will say, "Oh yes, that's fine. It's okay. I'll do that." Then on the inside, you feel that it's not okay for you, but you're afraid to speak up. Especially if there's another person who's very dominant, maybe even aggressive, then you're even more willing to overstep those boundaries and to say yes. And it could be in your relationship, in your love relationship, it could be at work, could be with your family. You know, it's like behavior, it's almost always there. You can seem very certain on the outside, very self-assured, but on the inside, like you have this cringing feeling that you don't want to do it, that it's not good for you. But you're afraid. You're afraid of what might happen if you speak up, and if you set your own boundaries. And the thing is, with these boundaries, I keep on talking about it and about your feelings and everything. You have to feel them, obviously, before you can set them and speak out about it. So the thing is, where are those feelings? You know, where is that boundary? Where is your boundary? If you don't feel them, you can't set them, you can't speak up. So I always tell my clients that it's in like the upper, in your upper body. So it's not on your head. Most people I speak to and I help with is that they think it's something here, you know, but this is all stories. This is something I always say it's like sort of paper you've read before, you know. It's like it's on repeat, it's telling you the same thing all the time. And that's a different mechanism compared to your feeling side and the boundaries and everything. And that's inside, that's like your subconscious, that's your feelings, that's your intuition, and it's all here. And the thing is, how do you get to it? That's the question I've been asked so many times, and I help people with. How do you get to those feelings? How do I know it's a feeling? How do I know it's my boundary? Well, it's take like a situation which is really painful for you, and then there should be something here. You should feel something here in your upper body, like it's a sort of crampy feeling. It's a solid feeling. It's dense. It could be anything. It could be even sort of butterflies, but then not nice ones. And something happens there. Something you can feel, like a very slight feeling, and you have to notice it. And that's the thing, because you're not familiar with the feeling. Maybe you've never really learned how to feel that. So it's very little. Well, not little is not the word, but very slight, very light, very I don't know. It's hard to comprehend in the beginning, but you have to. If you feel something, get your attention towards it. Get your attention to it and stay with it. That's the whole thing. Stay with that feeling, you know. And the thing is, people get frightened about, you know, about what there should be, or how it should be, or that it's too overwhelming, that I don't know what to do with all the emotions or the feelings, or something happens there. The thing is, stay with it. Every time, like, keep it simple, feel something, address your energy towards it and your attention, and try to stay with it. And what you notice is that your mind or the voice in your head tries to take over. So it comes with all these critical sentences, with the the voice you've heard. Maybe it's like from your mother, your father, from way back, but it's normal. It's there, that voice, because at one time it helped you. But a voice never really grew with you towards your how you are now. So it's the voice from when you were little, that little girl, that little boy. Mommy or daddy said something, and then it came up with that voice to sort of help you. And back then, that was the case. It did help you in a sense. That was the only way you could cope with the situation was there. But now you're grown up, so you really don't need that voice anymore. But because you've been repeating it so many times, and that's the way the mind works, by repeating things, you get to learn it. For example, brushing your teeth, it's only, you don't have to think every time, like in the morning or in the evening, oh, I have to brush my teeth, how do I do it? Oh, what do I need? No, it's so normal because you're repeating it. And that's the way the mind works. By repetition, something becomes normal, becomes familiar. And that's the same thing with that voice, that little critical or maybe a big critical voice. And that keeps telling you that you shouldn't do this, or you shouldn't trust that feeling, or you should do something else. And that, you get sort of war between your mind and your feelings. But at the end of the day, we're not rational beings, we're emotional beings. So your feelings should be the one who's taking the lead and making the decision. And obviously you need your head screwed on, but we're emotional. So the feelings should get room. And how to get room? By start, taking the time when you feel something, even if it's very little and not really profound, put your attention there. And when the attention gets to that point, then eventually you start getting the answers you're looking for. But it's a very, it could be a slow process because you don't know what you really have to do and anything. But once you start, and then you start noticing, oh, something happens, I feel something, it could be really sort of physical in the beginning. That's fine, that's perfectly fine. Keep your attention to that point all the time. And then what you notice over time, you start noticing, oh, something's changing. When I get my attention and I stay with it, then something changes. Maybe it's not so heavy anymore. Maybe it feels a bit lighter. Because at the end of the day, your feelings only want the attention. They want to be recognized. They want to be acknowledged. They want to be there. They don't want to be put aside. They don't want to be shoved under the carpet. They don't want to be ridiculed or anything. They just want to get room to be felt, to be heard, to be seen. And that's, for most of the people I speak to, they've never been heard when they were little. They've never been seen. They've been ridiculed, and then if that continues, like what I said before, then it becomes like sort of familiar for you. And with all the problems you can have when you're grown up. So the recap for those boundaries and the feelings, the how-to. Start small. Maybe it's physical in the beginning, and that's fine. slight tingling, crampy feeling, whatever, in the upper body. So not your head, in the upper body. And then get your attention to it. And let me know how that works for you.